Title: Old Shoes, New Wound, A Journey of Dreams, Sacrifice, and Reality. Feroz repaired old shoes at his shop, located in a small neighborhood. The locals used to call him Mochi Chacha, Uncle Cobbler. He wasn't just a cobbler, but also a father, a husband, and a noble human being. Every kind of old shoe would come to his shop, and he would mend them with such skill that they would look almost new. But in Feroz's heart, a dream was growing: to educate his wife, Nadia, and one day make her an officer. Nadia was a bright girl who had been forced to give up her books due to poverty. After completing her matriculation, the situation became so bad that her books were packed into a sack and she was made to sit near the stove. But the sparkle in her eyes still remained, the sparkle of becoming something, of achieving something. Feroz recognized that sparkle. After marriage, when Nadia once shyly said, "If I am allowed to study again, I would like to try," Feroz smiled and replied, "Your education is my responsibility." From that day till today, Feroz gave his days and nights to this cause. He opened his shop before sunrise and worked there until late at night. His hands developed blisters, his back ached constantly, but he never complained. Sometimes, he prioritized Nadia's exam forms over his own clothes. Sometimes he went to sleep on an empty stomach so Nadia could have her books. While other cobblers took holidays, Feroz silently kept working. Instead of buying new clothes for Eid, he bought new slippers for Nadia. During the rainy season, when customers were fewer, Feroz would let himself get drenched under the pretense of drying the wet shoes, but his focus remained on the deadline for Nadia's tuition fee. One winter night, he sat without socks simply because he had to pay the electricity bill and couldn't afford socks. At the neighborhood corner, Uncle Rashid laughed and said, "You're going to make your wife wear a uniform. Fix your own shoes first." Someone else added, "What if she becomes an officer tomorrow and salutes you? Or leaves you?" But Feroz would just smile at these remarks. He knew dreams aren't easy. They demand sacrifice. Nadia kept studying, achieving high marks in every class. Once, under pressure from studies, Nadia broke down crying. "Feroz, I can't do it anymore." He gently replied, "Just one more step. You're close. Don't give up. You were born to be an officer." When Feroz dropped her off at the university, people stared in amazement. But for Feroz, it was a moment of pride. With every exam, with every success, Nadia's eyes began to reflect Feroz more deeply. She got selected in the university. The whole neighborhood was amazed. Nadia had achieved outstanding marks. Meanwhile, vacancies opened up in the police department for the position of inspector. Without thinking twice, Nadia applied. And just like that, she succeeded. She was appointed as a police inspector. The same girl who was once surrounded by the smoke of kitchen stoves was now making headlines on news channels in uniform. Speaking to a news channel, Nadia said, "Whatever I am today is because of my husband Feroz, who turned my dreams into reality. My husband made me capable enough to become an officer today." Time passed. For a while, Nadia remained an obedient wife, but eventually, the glamour of large gatherings and the lure of money blinded her. Slowly, she began to change. She started distancing herself from Feroz. She attended official parties, mingled with elite people, wore expensive clothes, and traveled in cars. Feroz still mended old shoes at his shop. He felt proud that his wife was an officer, but Nadia now even hesitated to acknowledge him as her husband. Whenever Feroz visited the police station, Nadia treated him coldly. "Please wait outside. The officer is busy." These sentences had become routine for him. Many times he went to the station holding old shoes under his arm, but Nadia had the door closed on him. She had become an officer, but not a human being. One day, a minor argument broke out among the residents of Feroz's neighborhood. Someone informed the police. The police arrived on the scene and took the people involved to the station, where Nadia herself was the inspector. The constable said, "Madam, these people were fighting." Without even looking, Nadia said, "Put them all in the lockup." She didn't stop for a second to think. These people are from my own neighborhood. By that time, Feroz had also reached the police station. When she saw that Feroz had arrived, her tone still remained unchanged. Feroz tried to speak to Nadia, but she immediately went into her office. With tears in his eyes, Feroz said, "Nadia, I was the one who helped make you an officer. Will you now even refuse to recognize me?" As she walked away, Nadia said just one sentence, "This is a police station, not a home." Feroz clutched his heart and walked out. When he returned to his neighborhood, everyone started talking about him. Isn't this the same man who educated his wife? And now she throws him out of the police station? Feroz silently shut his shop and went to sit at the corner of the street. He thought to himself, "I am the husband who educated his wife and helped her become an officer. And today, that same wife sees me as an enemy. She doesn't even listen to me. She throws me out of the police station and angrily says, 'This is a police station, not a home.'" As Feroz thought about all of this, he began to cry. Tears streamed down his face as if he had committed some grave sin. His eyes turned red from crying. His heart couldn't bear all of it. After some time, he got up and started walking towards home. On the way, he felt dizzy and collapsed. The neighbors rushed to help him, but because he remained unconscious, they immediately called a rescue team. The rescue team quickly took Feroz to the main hospital in the city. His neighbors arrived at the hospital shortly after and asked the doctor about his condition. The doctor said, "He has suffered a serious emotional trauma to the heart." People in the neighborhood understood that Nadia's behavior had been so cruel that Feroz couldn't bear it. A news reporter who happened to be there heard everything, and he decided to help Feroz. The reporter gathered all the information and published a story. The news went viral on social media. News channels broadcasted the headline, "A Cobbler Husband's Plea." The story spread like wildfire. It reached the city's superintendent of police, SP, who immediately ordered an investigation. The investigative report revealed that Nadia was a corrupt, foul-mouthed, and extremely disrespectful officer. Since the day she took the seat of police inspector, she had not done a single good deed. She never did any work without taking bribes. She would take the money herself and share it with her seniors when complaints were made. Based on the findings of the report, higher officials suspended her. After being suspended, Nadia returned to her government residence. Over time, she became deeply disturbed because she now had neither her position nor the prestige of authority. During the suspension period, Nadia slowly began to realize that wealth and authority do not last forever. They are temporary. In the intoxication of power, I wronged the angel-like husband I had, and now I am paying the price for it. Nadia had fully realized everything. On the other side, Feroz's condition had also improved, and he returned home and resumed his usual work. One day, Nadia came to Feroz's shop in plain clothes, her eyes filled with shame. "Feroz, please forgive me, I forgot you. I have lost myself too." Feroz softly replied, "I have forgiven you, but time never will. Go, leave this place. A person who cuts their own roots dies before their time." Nadia listened to Feroz's words and lost all strength. She made an emotional decision to resign from her job. She left the position of police inspector and began working at an NGO, where she educated women about the rights of their husbands and told them the consequences of disobedience. Feroz reopened his shop, but now people didn't just call him a cobbler, they called him a great human being. Moral: no matter how high a person rises, they should never forget their roots, their origins, and their relationships. Pride does not elevate a person, it isolates and disgraces them. Love, sacrifice, and loyalty are treasures more valuable than all the wealth in the world.